Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. I'm going to start off tonight with an anecdote. This story, it gets retold during every war to make it seem like it happened in the war just before. Now, I'm sure if you went back to World War II, there'd be guys swearing this happened during World War I. The version I heard was in 1968 during the Tet Offensive. There's a general, and he sees this hill. He has to have this hill. Problem is, it is crawling with VC and NVA, and they're looking at 50 to 60% U.S. casualties to take that hill. But he's got to have it. So he calls down to battalion. He says, I need that hill. Battalion calls down to company. You guys have to take this hill. Company commander's like, 50 to 60% casualties. But he's got him a new lieutenant. A bunch of green guys, he don't really know. If you're going to lose somebody, who are you going to pick? Lieutenant, get over here. You got to take that hill. Lieutenant scurries off. 20 minutes later, they got the hill. Didn't lose a man. Nobody's even wounded. Company commander's like, man, I look great. Battalion commander, sir, we got it. General's impressed. So he hops in his Jeep. He wants to meet this guy. He finds that lieutenant. He's like, son, how did you do that? Lieutenant looks at him. I said, Sergeant, take that hill. And that's how it works. Order comes down, it's vague. Gets more specific until it gets to those guys on the ground. And they got to figure out how to implement it. That's how it really works. And that's an important little tidbit here in a minute. Because we all know what's going on down at the border. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. We know what's going on. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it because those warfighters have a very unique opportunity. They have the chance to join an extremely exclusive club. They can join those very few people that actually picked up a weapon and truly defended American freedom. I know what you're saying. All vets defended American freedom. No, not really. They may have defended the American way of life. They may have acted as a deterrent, so other countries didn't think about impinging on American freedom. But very, very few actually defended American freedom. The last time it really happened, last time we were truly at risk of invasion was World War II. So 1945. Prior to that, I would say that Union soldiers were fighting for the freedoms of Americans. So 1865, prior to that. War of 1812. And then the Revolutionary War. 4 times in American history was it truly about freedom in America. Those people on the border have the opportunity to join that club. See, we all know what mission creep is. Well, if you don't, Afghanistan is a perfect example. Why did we go into Afghanistan? Well, to get those responsible for 9/11, of course. That's what we were told. And then to fight the Taliban, because they kind of helped them, sort of, maybe. And then to stabilize the country, then to kind of protect the cash crop and help out the pharmaceutical industry a little bit. And then to bring the Taliban back into the fold now, it's more than a decade and a half later. We're still there, still dying, nobody knows why. That's mission creep. Now, when DHS, when the Department of Homeland Security called up DOD, they wanted U.S. soldiers to act as emergency law enforcement personnel. And DOD rightfully told them to go somewhere else with that request. It's illegal. There are very, very specific instances where U.S. soldiers can operate domestically. This isn't one of them. But now you're heading down there. I know what you're saying. Well, we're doing surveillance, support, logistics, supply. Okay. Mission creep. Why do they really want you there? That vague order will come down. Take that hill. Oh, it's going to be stop them. When that happens, who's going to implement it? The lieutenant and the sergeant, right? That's what's going to happen. And when this administration leaves office, who's going to be prosecuted? Think it's going to be some dude with stars on his shoulder? No. It's not going to be the guy that gave the vague order. It's going to be the sergeant shoved his M4 in some kid's face. You do not know the meaning of the word Blue Falcon, the term Blue Falcon, until you're talking about a senior commander trying to cover his rear and the collateral damage of a bunch of enlisted guys. You want to defend American freedom? You want to defend the freedoms of Americans? You keep that weapon slung and you keep it on safe. Stay within the law. You know what the laws of war are. You know what the UCMJ is. You know the real rules of engagement. Doesn't matter what political rhetoric is said. You know what the real rules of engagement are. These are non-combatants. You better remember that. You better act like it. You keep that weapon on safe and you keep it slung. Don't get involved in this. It will be you standing tall when it's over. See, here's the thing, and the one thing I want to recommend to everybody, if you're already down there, if you're heading down there, head over to the USCIS website and you figure out exactly how to legally apply for asylum in the United States. And what you're going to find out, what these people are doing, what these migrants, what this caravan is doing, is completely legal. That's what you're going to find out. There is no law saying they have to apply for asylum in the first country they come to. There is no way for them to apply at an embassy. They have to be physically present in the United States or at a port of entry. So what does that mean? Republicans control the legislative and executive branch. They could change the law if they wanted. So what does it mean? It means they don't want to. They want to use you. See, the American people trust you. They trust that uniform. Honor, integrity, those things. It's bred into you, right? You wouldn't do anything illegal. You wouldn't circumvent the law. Earn that trust. Keep that weapon slung and keep it on safe. And if you think for a split second that the brass is going to have your back when this is over, and they're going to say, oh yeah, we gave that order. First, following vague orders, following illegal orders, it's not a defense. Second, if they were going to have your back, you wouldn't be down there. They would have stopped this before it started. You know, the briefing slides, they got leaked. It's not a threat. We know it. DOD says it's not a threat, but you're still down there. Why? Because the brass decided to allow you to be used as a political tool. Right before the midterm elections. And that's what this is about. And it's your uniform, your honor, being used to legitimize them circumventing the law. That's what's going on. It's just a thought. But you really need to keep that weapon slung and keep it on safe. Don't do it. When that vague order comes down, you ask for clarification. Email clarification. Something that's going to remain. Something you can use in your defense later. Because if you allow that mission creep to happen, you're going to need it. You're going to need a defense. It would be better just to follow the law. Just an idea, just a thought. Y'all have a good night.